Right. Hello, good afternoon to the people in Curaçao. Good evening to the people in Ghana. I believe it's 3 o'clock, 1 past 3 in the afternoon in Curaçao and 1 past 7 in Ghana. And welcome to the very first inspiration session of our project, Transatlantic Relatives. I'm very honored to welcome you all on this adventure, together with my co-panelists and partners who I will introduce shortly to you. My name is Joeri Oltheten. I'm a social entrepreneur living in Curaçao, and I'm also the director of the foundation called Wintertuin Curaçao, and I'm the one who initiated this adventure. I'll tell a little bit more about myself in just a second, but before I do so, I would like to introduce you to my partners, starting with one of the founders of the Writer Project of Ghana, Mr. Martin Egblewogbe.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to trip on my surname, Joeri.
I've been practicing.
Yes, and well, so good evening to everybody joining from Ghana. My name is Martin Egblewogbe, and as Joeri has said, I'm a co-founder of the Writers Project of Ghana and the director of SIM, and the festival, which is collaborating with Joeri's festival, is called Peja, a literary festival in Accra, and we'll be talking a little bit more about how these two projects interconnect: Wintertuin Curaçao, Peja, a literary festival in Accra, and how we are working together to bring forth this idea of transatlantic relatives, which, as Joeri has said, is an idea. He calls it an adventure. Joeri, that's really interesting the way you put it. It's Joeri's adventure, and we are happy to be on board as Writers Project. So as we go on, I will be also giving a little bit more background to myself and also to the Writers Project of Ghana. I guess, Nanayo?
Yeah, thank you, Martin. And I also like to welcome everyone to this first inspiration session that we are having. It's one of several that is supposed to come up before Wintertown Festival in Curaçao and Peja in Accra. My name is Yaw Sarpong. I'm also a director at Writers Project of Ghana. And yeah, we are really excited about transatlantic relatives, the project. And this is, I mean, for many reasons, but this is just an introductory statement. So we are excited because we love partnerships too, because this is about ourselves, and it's important to have conversations about ourselves with ourselves without worrying about any others. That's very important. So yeah, just to welcome everybody to tonight. Joeri.
Thank you. Yes, I just received a question because apparently chat was disabled. We've enabled chat for everybody, so now everybody can chat with everyone. So you can just ask a question or leave a comment or raise your hand. The idea is to make this session interactive. At first, we will give some information because we received a lot of questions, and I can understand people want to know a little bit more about the project, but the idea is for later on for you guys also to join in the conversation. I just want to say something briefly about the organization just mentioned, Wintertuin Curaçao. I founded this organization in 2017. The idea was to contribute to the cultural infrastructure of this island, Curaçao. I think we have a lot of creative talent, a lot of writers, poets, rappers, spoken word artists, all kinds of creative people. And I wanted to contribute to the development of our creativity. So we organize festivals like the Wintertuin Curaçao Festival that my partners just mentioned. We do courses, we publish books. We do basically everything that has to do with literature and storytelling. And our idea or aim is always to connect people through art. So it's not just art on itself, but there needs to be some sort of social relevance. And that's also why we initiated this project, Transatlantic Relatives. Curaçao, for the ones who don't know, is an island in the Caribbean, and it's officially part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, even though it's an autonomous island, autonomous country within the kingdom. And the Kingdom of the Netherlands abolished slavery officially in 1863. Well, it came in effect really in 1873. So you could say that they abolished slavery officially 150 years ago. And that's why this year was called the Slavery Memorial Year in the Netherlands. And that's why, well, they basically support projects that have to do with remembering, but also with looking forward. And we came up with the idea to launch a project to basically reconnect our regions that have obviously a cultural and historical connection, reconnect these regions through words, through literature, by using the platforms that we have and that our friends in Ghana also have. So it's on one hand, it's a digital exchange through these sessions, also through the submissions that we expect to receive from you guys through our website, but also a more physical exchange in which artists will travel from Curaçao to Ghana and from Ghana to Curaçao. Martin.
Yes, and so this whole idea, I think Joeri, in conversation previously, you put together something which I thought actually spelled out what the whole thing is. It's a connection. We want to find ways of connecting ideas on the continent with ideas across in the Caribbean. And it then goes beyond just making people travel from one end to the other, which actually is currently a little bit difficult. I mean, it's not very easy to go from Africa to the Caribbean, but we do have very strong historical connections. And obviously, a project like Transatlantic Relatives seeks to explore these connections through an artistic medium. And what I am hoping to see through these creative sessions, these sessions that we are going to be organizing from here until next year, is to find out how our creatives, the poets, how do their ideas look similar and how are they different? I'm quite looking forward to that. And as Joeri has said, it's essentially a platform that is going to allow people to contribute writing. And there's a very strong poetry network here in Ghana, and I suppose the same is in Curaçao. And we will also be having in subsequent inspiration sessions live poetry. So it's going to be sessions that you can actually have poets going forth with their work. And this is something that is actually, what should I say, a great opportunity. I've got a lot of people who already have contacted me saying, like, how can we be a part of this? Not only because it's an avenue for exposing one's work, but it's an avenue for exposing one's work to people across the ocean, but who are just like us. They are relatives. And so I think that the Transatlantic Relatives project, as it starts today, is going to benefit a lot of poets, especially, but other writers and creatives as well, both in Curaçao and in Ghana. I don't know if, Nanaya, you'd have any words to add to this before we go on to really explore how people can join into participating in the inspiration sessions.
Okay, well, I thought that perhaps you want to plug in Peja a little bit, because, or Joeri, do we start from Wintertuin first?
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, we've been organizing the Wintertuin Curaçao Festival ever since 2019, and we were lucky to also have been able to continue during the pandemic with all the restrictions. For those who are interested, I can send you some links to some after movies. We even had one fully digital production in 2020, which you can watch entirely from wherever you are. Most of it is in Papiamento, our local language, but you can catch the vibe, as they say. So this year is our fifth edition. We're really excited about it, and it consists basically of 2 days. We have a children's program on the 16th of September, which is not very relevant for this project, and we have the adult edition or adult program, the evening program, on the 23rd of September, and it's basically a multilingual festival. Like I said, our local language, the main language here is Papiamentu, which is a Creole language. But we also have two other official languages, Dutch and English, and most people here also speak Spanish. So people are used to hearing different languages, and they're also very interested in different cultures because we have more than 50 nationalities, even though it's a small island. So we will have poets, writers, spoken word artists, rappers, all coming together on 3 different stages. We expect between maybe 500 to 1,000 visitors this year. And we've already told people that there will be authors and writers and artists coming from Ghana. People are really excited about this because they tend to hear, yeah, there will be something from Aruba, which is the neighboring island, or Bonaire, or Colombia. You know, South America is pretty well known. But Ghana, it's just very mysterious for a lot of people. Some people have been to Ghana, but most people from Curaçao, because of not the distance, but because of the difficulty to get to West Africa, have not been there, but they're very much intrigued. They want to know more about it. They want to interact. So that's why on the 23rd of September, for the first time, we will have 2 West African authors, artists coming to perform, and we will select them through the submissions coming in through our website, Transatlantic Relatives. Maybe you can tell us about your festival in Accra.
Okay, let me just chip in a bit about PIJA, but maybe a little walking back further in history to talk also about the Writers Project of Ghana. And what this organization was set up to do essentially was to try and amplify the voices of local writers, mainly, but again to increase the interconnections between writers in general and amplify their voices in the literary space. So the idea was, how do we get writers to interact a little bit more with their audience, etc. And the Writers Project of Ghana set out to do this through programming. So we have a vast array of programs that try to do exactly this. And we've achieved this through collaborations with several very important partners, one of whom is also a partner with the festival PIJA, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But the other things that we do are public readings. We also, like you, Joeri, have some publications of poetry, anthologies, and short stories. We run a radio show as well. You've been on the radio show too. We have monthly public readings. We run literary workshops, and we also publish a literary journal online. And so we have different things that we do to try and basically activate interactions in the local literary scene. But the biggest of all, which we started in 2017, is PIJA, a literary festival in Accra. And this, since inception, has been a 3-day literary festival that brings together writers from across the continent and beyond. We are going to be running this year from the 13th to the 15th of October. And this is coming a month after the Wintertuin Curaçao events. And just like them, we will be looking forward to welcome a few writers and poets from Curaçao to join us in PIJA. We are going to do shared programming so that there's a kind of connection between what is happening in Wintertuin and what will happen also in PIJA. I also have to, at this point, I mean, let me just say this before we get lost, that we are very grateful for the support of our sponsors, and one of the sponsors, very important, is also a co-organizer of PIJA, and this is the Goethe Institute. We are happy also to count amongst our supporters this year, once again, the Embassy of the Netherlands in Accra, and also the European Union. And we also are looking forward to a few other collaborators whose names I can't mention.
Probably.
Yes. I was going to say that there are a few others whose names I can't mention now because we don't have a contract signed. But yes, that probably is also a partner, and we have several other publishing houses which also give us a lot of support. As I guess we'll probably circle back at some point and mention some further names, so not to bog it down too much at this point. And I have some few things to add.
No, I think you've covered our base. Indeed, I should mention that PIJA is it's a 3-day festival. I think, Martin, you are the one who likes to call it a 3-day festival because, I mean, most of it happens within 3 days, but there are a lot of auxiliary activities that happen pre-Peja festival and post-Peja, you know. So yeah, so it's one that also, I think, increasingly has become a place for connecting writers, that people come to the festival and they forge friendships, but most importantly, professional relationships that continue to grow the writing space in Ghana, in West Africa. I think increasingly what we've seen is that the reach has expanded beyond the sub-region, which it's an interesting thing to see. I mean, we are seeing increasing connection to LA and many other places. So I think that it is fantastic that today we are here talking about connecting the festival in Ghana with what is in Curaçao.
Yes, I agree. And if I can just jump into that, thank you very much for accepting my invitation. For the people that are following us, it was just a matter of reaching out. I just Googled and I found the Writers Project of Ghana. We had never spoken to each other. And their response was so enthusiastic that really gave me a lot of energy to continue on this journey. Martin just mentioned a couple of sponsors. Indeed, thank you very much to the Embassy of the Netherlands in Accra, especially to Ms. Jane Issa, who supported this project from the start. In Holland, the Mondrian Fund is the one responsible also for a big chunk of support. And our digital partners are Engrain, the guys who made the website and help us with everything digital when it comes to this project. So maybe it's a good moment to dig a bit deeper into the website and the more like technical part of this, because we received some questions about this. Unless there are questions in the chat that need answering right now. Let me just take a quick look.
Yeah, Yuri, while you look, what I want to say is that I mean, we are getting to the layout of the project so that people can understand exactly what we are looking forward to, because that helps them to clearly know where to plug in, because the website is there, which is going to curate submissions from writers from both sides of the Atlantic, you know, and then we are going to have these sessions until the festival here in Curaçao and in Ghana. And at the same time, there's the residency part of the program. I think that Yuri, you might be oversubscribed for the residency, because I didn't know that a lot of people would be willing to relocate for a period of time, you know, to improve on their writing. But it was very exciting that caught the attention of a lot of people. And I think as you take us through the website, it will also become clear to people that this festival in Wintertuin Festival offers an opportunity for writers also in Ghana to travel on their own to attend the festival and hopefully rediscover themselves in a new way.
Yes, I agree. And just for people to know, the idea of this platform is basically to connect our two regions, so the Caribbean and West Africa. And we start with Curaçao and Ghana. Why Curaçao and Ghana? Well, because we're in Curaçao and you guys are in Ghana. So, and also, it was just a matter of reaching out. My initial thought was just let's see if people in Ghana are interested in this. I knew about the year of return. I heard from some people that I know. I had a lot of Ghanaian friends when I was living in Amsterdam. So I had the impression that that Ghanaian people in general are open to this type of adventures, and it seems so. So that's why we started here. But in time, it would be great, obviously, to expand this platform and to have more countries join on both sides of the ocean, and that way really create this this transatlantic family once again. Shall I go share my screen now and should go through the website with you?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Let me do that. No. Okay, I hope people can see this. Do you see the website?
yes.
Partners? Okay, perfect. So as you can see, Transatlantic Relatives is a literary project connecting Curaçao and Ghana through their common history, which does not mean we only focus on history. So the history is a part of it, but we also look at the present, and obviously we look at the future. So we're looking for all types of connections through art, specifically art that uses words, narratives. This is about the project. We just talked about this digital platform, which is basically this website, but also the sessions that we have now. And the platform will grow through the content that you will send us and that we will curate and then upload. We will use not only our website, but also platforms or channels like YouTube and Spotify for the audio and video, but I will get into that in a bit. Yeah, so we already have 2 submissions made by my good friend Nana Joe and myself, just to give you guys an idea of what is possible. We're not competing for performing at the festival, so don't worry, we're not in the race.
None of us.
But just so you have an idea, and here you can, when you click on see all content, you can see these 2 submissions. Now, this is the inspiration session where we are now, and then I will show you the roadmap. This is a project initially for 1 year, and obviously we hope that it will continue afterwards because we're looking for a sustainable connection. But just so you have an idea, in this month, the month of July, we'll be curating the submissions that we get through our website, and the first inspiration session is happening right now. Then at the start of August, we will publish the first batch of texts and performances. So that means that even if you don't get selected to participate in the festival, you still can have your work published on the website. And then we'll select the writers on both sides of the ocean for the travel. So in our case, here in Curaçao, we'll have a festival, but before the festival, there's also a writing course. There'll be a couple of activities that you can engage in. And obviously, we will get in touch with the people we select so we can talk through the process of, how to get everything done before actually coming here. This is part of the roadmap. Then the project we just mentioned, Wintertuin Curaçao, is a foundation that I represent. And we talked about the Writers Project of Ghana. We talked about the Royal Embassy, the Mondrian Fund, and we talked about Engrain. This is some artwork, and here you can apply for the residency program, but we can do that also through the main menu over here. So artist work, this is where we're going to publish the curated content. This is me with a little 5-day beard, and some of the poetry, the text I wrote. And here you can see Nana Yaw's poetry. This is the announcement of the inspiration session. Then let's go to apply now, which I think is the most important part. Yes. So we want to create a new history, like we said. What's in it for you as an artist? Well, if you submit your text, you can submit a text or written text in a Word file, sorry. You can also submit it as audio, so maybe a recital, or it could be also a video in which there is obviously a text. If it gets chosen, then your art will be published on the website for people to read, watch, or listen to. And this way you can obviously reach a bigger audience. So for the people in Curaçao, and it's not only for the people in our countries, but also, I mean, there's a huge Curaçaoan diaspora also. We have a lot of people living in the Netherlands. And for Ghana, it's the same. There are Ghanaians, I think, all across the world. So you can reach much more people with your art. And the second point, you have the chance to participate in a literary festival. We will choose 2 people from Ghana and 2 people from Curaçao, and the people from Ghana will travel to our islands and perform in September. And the people from Curaçao will travel to Ghana, and we will cover your flight costs, your accommodation, and some expenses. We will also organize some activities, and we will make sure that you can get to know people from the artistic and cultural scene in both countries. We just talked about the inspirational sessions. We'll discuss different topics in these sessions, but we will also, have people perform, do recitals. It will be interesting. This is the shortest session because it's more informative. But from here on, I think we will have longer sessions in which we can really, get to know each other. Because the idea is not only to have these 4 people travel, but really to have us all travel, even though it's through the screen. Let's see if there are questions. Yeah, maybe it's best to answer them in a bit, so I can just finish this part first. Yeah, we talked about the sessions. The 4th one, I think this is the first Caribbean African literary platform. So a great opportunity, I think. As you all know, writing has changed also because of the digital evolution or revolution. So I think this is a great way for writers to get to know new people and also get in touch with, as number 5 indicates, publishers, for instance, or agents, or everybody who's interested in the sphere of literature. And number 6, you can generate new social media followers because we make it easy for you to share your content through the website without you having to host it yourself. Now, let's go through some guidelines. We will accept literary works, short fiction, nonfiction, poetry, autobiographical, and it should be about shared history, stories. It should be something that has to do with the connection between Africa and the Caribbean, or more specifically, Ghana and Curaçao. It can be really concrete. It can be abstract. I mean, you know best how to put this connection into words and images and/or audio. Now, what is important for us is the format. So I just said text, audio, or video. Attach your text in a Word file in the indicated fonts and size. The audio MP3, video, and MP4 as far as possible. Now, if you just see that it's maybe not possible to submit in any format that we indicate, then just write us a quick note and we'll talk to you. We're flexible and we're here around the clock. So just let us know if you get stuck somewhere. We need a short biography, just a couple of lines and a good picture of you, the author, so we can also publish that online. Now, language, I think, is also important. I think the language that we all understand in both our countries is English, but we don't want to exclude anyone, and we also want to have people express themselves in the language they feel most comfortable in. So we ask you to submit in any Ghanaian language, English, Papiamento, or Dutch. But if you submit in any other language than English, then please also send us a translation so that other people can also really understand what it's all about. When it comes to prose, at most 1,000 words, poetry at most 4 pages, with the font we just indicated, the Times New Roman 12. And also preferably unpublished, possible. And if it has been published already, then you must have written to the previously published work. That's basically it. And here you can see where you can submit your content. You can write down your first name, your last name, your email address, your phone number, a short message, just, out of the short pitch, if you may. And here you can upload your file. You can let us know you're not a robot, and then you can submit. So that is the website. And obviously we will, once we get the submissions and we let you know who will be chosen for the submission, because there are not a lot of people traveling, there's only on both sides of the ocean, we'll get in touch with you and we'll talk through, what needs to be done and arranged to accommodate your travels and also your stay in Ghana and in Curaçao. Okay. Can I answer questions? Are there questions concerning the website, or can I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah,
Martin.
Well, I was thinking that you could probably stop sharing, but if questions come that require that you go back to the website, you could start it up again.
Yeah. Yes. So there are some questions, but Martin, as is custom, I think we are on the chat right now also with Professor Kofi Anyidoho, who has gladly accepted to do this with us. It's wonderful. Also, in the In the attendees is Professor Wale Okediran, who is joining us. Professor Lade Wosonu is also there. There are a lot more people. I see that Lotad is listening, as well as our usual collaborators. Mamle is also on the line from Writers Project. Menu Epstein, 100%, Bontri. We are very happy that the relevant people are joining us on this conversation. People who can actually send the message out there after this informative session. I'm not able to mention everyone, but there's Zafi at I see Abna Sewa, Mami Abba, Bernard. So it's fantastic. So I think we can take the questions, Martin.
Some of them are in the chat, and then there are also people who have raised their hands. So let's try and go through some of them. There is a question here from 100%. I think let's take that. It says, can the submissions be multiple? And he goes further to say, can I send a video submission and then attach the audio and text? And so, Joeri, can you take that?
Joeri, before you do, because this is also the same question that Nancy Winkler is asking, whether you can submit more than one art form.
There's no problem to submit more than once. It's only that we will not publish more than once at once. So in order to give everybody also the chance to be published on the website, I suggest, well, of course, if you have more material that you would like to send in, no problem. But if we publish, we will publish just once for now, in order to give more people the chance to be part of this platform. So if you have a submission that you would like to send as video or audio or text, or it is the same material, but in 3 different forms, so to speak, then we can make a choice and see what we think fits best if we get to pick one of them. And if you have, say, multiple stories of poems, that's also no problem, because it's our job to curate. It's just that we can only publish one of them.
And then there's another from Gabriel Ewaminu, who is asking, how long is the residency?
That's also a very good question, and that's something that we will have to look into. Why am I saying this? Because the idea is also for the writers or the artists that go abroad to participate in some activities and also to write something about their stay. So this will not be, as far as I can oversee right now, it will not be a very long residency. We're talking about maximum of a couple of weeks, but we do call it residency. Why? Because the idea of your stay is really to be fully immersed in the local cultural scene. So when you come for the people from Ghana, when you come to Curaçao during that time, and we're talking about the month of September, maybe or early October, you will be engaging in courses that are already taking place. You can be a part of that. You can meet new people. You will be in the festival. You'll be asked to write, and there will be probably some more possibilities for you to perform as well. We're working on that as we speak. So you could see it more as a more intense, short residency. And hopefully later on in this project, we'll also have some slow residencies. But this is, let's say like a high energy, short residency. And we also do that because we know that a lot of people, especially, I don't know what it's like in Ghana, but in Curaçao, a lot of people, they are not fully professional writers. So they're semi-professional, and that means they have other obligations as well. So, but maybe these people are the ones that are going to, be exceeding or excelling at what they send us. And it would be a pity for them not to be able to go abroad because the residency would be too long for them.
There's a question from Salat Martin, which borders around the same thing, but he's asking if visual artists can submit their work. I mean, Joeri, you can take that question, but I can just, in a preliminary way, say that visual art is a broad spectrum. So if you say, for example, a painting, that could be specific enough to address, right, Yuri? And the question of where are they going to be exhibited, I think we are curating the website for that particular purpose. Stella, so I don't know if I answered that part for you. Yuri, can you talk to whether visual artists say
Look, for me,
can exhibit?
No, it's a great question. It's a great question. And the thing is, if you want to be eligible for participating in the festivals abroad, then obviously we do require text, because we organize literary festivals. But I think that for the website in itself, it would be great to also have some visual art. So please do send them in. Just, I hope you understand that with the visual art, you will not be eligible to be part of the residency program, because it is a literary residency program. But if you have visual art that we can also place on the website, that would be great. The website in itself, the way we set it up is that we can have a gallery that can also change when we get more submissions. So I'm even thinking now that there could be different, well, let me not get too much into detail, but a lot of this also depends on what we receive. You know what I mean? So I would say, yes, please send in. If you have visual, if you have audio, send it in. Just be aware that you will not be eligible to travel to the literature festival. That's your
I just also want to add that we should keep an eye also on the deadlines. Wintertuin Curaçao is actually in September, and Peja is in October. And so we would like to have people who want to submit early, because there's going to be a selection process after all. There are a few hands that went up, but before we go in there, I think there's a question from Stella asking about Ghanaian writers based outside Ghana. I think, as Yuri has said, you can participate, but in terms of joining, being selected to travel from Ghana to Curaçao, that would mean that you are in Ghana to start with. So we would like to have your content online for sure. But the idea is to get Ghanaian writers and poets who are selected to go to Curaçao.
Yes.
Yuri, this one from Nancy again is asking whether you have to be an established, experienced artist to participate. I think we've answered that question. You don't have to, as Yuri mentioned.
Yes, because everybody who wants to can participate, and it's hard to distinguish experience from non-experience. I mean, how do you get experience? Also by being published on platforms like this one. We want to be really democratic. We want to give everybody the chance to participate. And you don't necessarily have to have gone to art school or, followed courses. As long as you have content that is relevant to both of our countries and regions.
Yeah. Yes, and one from Glide Artificial Intelligence says that he writes sci-fi and asking if he can submit it. Yes.
Yes, sci-fi is fiction. Why not? Or part fiction, part non-fiction.
Well, please submit.
I think a few hands were up. I noticed at some point that Bernard Akwe Jackson had his hand up. And then, rather unfortunately, one of the guests has been cloned. And so there are two of the same person, one of whom is abusing the...
Yes.
So we'll have to remove both, and then you'll join back.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I think that we can have comments. Those who raise their hands to ask questions directly. So if you raise your hand again, so that Yuri can actually allow you to join the conversation directly.
Martin, and I think in a few minutes' time, we can open the floor to Professor Anyidoho and Dr. Wale Okediran.
Yeah, I just want to mention that Dr. Wale Okediran is the Secretary General of the Pan-African Writers Association, and we are really happy that he's on this call and will be able to share a few thoughts from his perspective as Secretary General of the Pan-African Writers Association as well.
Okay. Bernard, if you are there, or Martin, do we start with the
Yes, I don't see any hands up now, so let's see.
I think he dropped it.
Yeah. Okay, so then we can now begin to get the invited commentaries. And so I don't know if we could start with Prof Anyidoho, if you have any thoughts you want to share with us concerning this project. I see Bernard's hand is up now, but
yes, but he has put a question there also, asking whether can collaborative projects be submitted. I know an artist from Curaçao called Tezo Mata, with whom I could propose a project. Bernard, if you raise your hand in the call while Prof gets ready. Yuri, can you answer the question? Bernard has raised the hand again, so.
Yeah, so if they can do a collaboration?
Yes, can you put Bernard in?
Yeah, I think we should just let Bernard be able to talk, and then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Bernard, you're allowed to talk.
Okay, I think that we don't have Bernard talking, and in the meantime, I see that we also have Dr. Wale Okediran in short right now. So let's yes. So if either we would hear directly now from Professor Anyidoho or from Dr. Wale Okediran, whoever is ready now. I think we invited Professor Anyidoho. So if you are on.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Martin. Good evening, and I want to congratulate the organization for this linkage and this collaboration. I'm very impressed with what I'm hearing because the Pan-African Writers Association, so many of you will be aware, is actually a platform for writers of African descent from all over the world. And for me, what we are discussing today is just in line with what Power has been doing. Now this collaboration between the two countries, to my mind, is very germane. Well, after Martin sent me the message 2 days ago, I had to quickly go back and read about the beautiful island of is it called Carico?
Curaçao. We've been practicing.
Curaçao, okay. Okay, so, and I was able to pick a few things of importance, particularly the connection between West Africa and the island, some of the culture, some of the cuisine, the food, and so many things. So I just said, wow, this is something amazing. For me, the issue of a residency is something that we can work out. I believe that apart from the physical exchange, there should be a writer's residency in either of the two countries where writers can spend some time. And apart from encouraging intercultural exchange, it will also allow writers enough time to finish what they are doing. So it's nice we are starting by exchanging writers, but on the long run, we look forward to a time when here in Ghana we can have a permanent structure of a residency, a writer's residency. And then over there, we can also have one. People can go there, spend 4 weeks. You can also come here, spend another few weeks. That's number one. Then the second thing is about the issue of distance. We've been talking on how to engage writers from both sides. I still believe that this online facility that we are doing today is still a very big and very good medium of interacting, because we all know the cost of travel tickets these days and all kind of things. So while we have a select number of writers coming physically, we can organize periodic events, online events, that we give more writers the opportunity to interact. And in this respect, Power, that's the Pan-African Writers Association, is always available to collaborate with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wale Okediran, for that. And I'm not much of a person who likes different types of food, but since you mentioned the Caribbean food, it's possible that I would like to investigate it by actually eating it and not just reading about it. maybe when we do have more physical interaction, we'll be able to speak more about the topic of food. I just received a message from Gabriel Menu. Gabriel is a well-known young and up-and-coming poet in Ghana, and his account was actually cloned, and so the behavior that you may have seen in the chats was actually not Gabriel. We have since tried to remove the offending account, and Gabriel wishes to extend his apologies to the entire members of this meeting.
Yeah. So Joeri, maybe I don't know if Prof is hearing us. He can take up. Yes, Prof, please go ahead.
I can hear you.
Excellent.
Hello? Yes, please, if you could go ahead.
Well, let me join my brother, the Secretary General of Power, to congratulate you on this initiative. I can give my own example of being fortunate enough to have visited several Caribbean islands. And each time it has been an opportunity for me to not only establish links with people I already know and new people, but also the ways in which it has inspired some of my creative work. Some of you may be familiar with my collection of poetry titled
Caribbean Blues, I think there was a collection.
Yes.
Yeah. Ancestral Logic and Caribbean Blues, which came out of a visit that took me not only to Cuba, but to the Dominican Republic and one or two other points in the Caribbean. I haven't had the privilege of visiting Curaçao yet, but it's important that as many of us on this side get a chance to go directly to any part of the Caribbean or South America, for that matter, and see how the history of Africa plays out on the other side of the Atlantic. It is an amazing, very inspiring experience. And let me just cut it short here, that any way in which I can be part of this program is welcome to me. The opportunity for especially some of the younger people to also get a both online and physical experience is one that they will be grateful for the rest of their creative career. Our brother, who is behind this from Curaçao. Please, thank you very much, you and your collaborators on that side. And I look forward to being a part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor, and Dr. Wale Okediran also. I would like to highlight one thing. This is, I call it an adventure when we started. Basically, everything we do here is pretty organic. And the reason is that I and my team, we really believe in platforms and connecting people with each other. And we also believe in growing and expanding together. So the ideas that I just heard about, for instance, a permanent residency, those fit in perfectly with this idea. This is just a starting point. You know, the idea to start with this was pretty basic. 2 people from Ghana go to Curaçao, 2 people from Curaçao go to Ghana. We have a platform which we submit ideas and texts, we publish them, and we have inspiration sessions. But it can be much bigger. It can, you know, involve more people, more parties. And that's the idea. I like to start small and manageable, and from there on expand if the energy is there. So thank you so much for being a part of this already, for sharing your ideas already at this point, because this is what we need, you know, more ideas, more content, and more people aboard. Like, I don't know if you've maybe read what I wrote on the website. That was basically from the heart, you know. It's for me, it's really strange to see that if I want to go to Accra, or somebody from Accra or another country in Ghana wants to come to this part of the world, they have to go through America, they have to go through Europe. But I believe that it all starts with content, you know. So instead of just waiting for that to happen, if we can create a bridge through words, through art, through creativity, then the rest will follow. So we already shortening this distance, this physical distance, by being together on this platform. And I think that through time, it will only become closer. The connection will even be closer. So thank you very much for helping out on that.
And I would also want to add my thanks to Professor Kofi Anyidoho and Dr. Wale Okediran once again. It's great to hear your enthusiasm about this entire project. And I must say that the inspiration sessions are going to continue one every month with different topics for discussion and the opportunity for people also to present their works directly. And so, as Joeri said, this is we are doing a lot more talking because it's an introductory session. We wanted to be able to explain a little bit more what the entire concept was about. But subsequently, in every month through to June next year, we are going to have an inspiration session. Every month it's going to be hosted by different people with different themes, and it's going to be a melting pot of ideas. You know, I am really looking forward to joining future events, even if I will not be hosting. Enjoy the content also. And also we want to be able to create as much content as possible, even though it's going to be a lot of work for selection, but we feel that the opportunity must be given to as many people as possible. So feel free to spread the word that we are actually collecting submissions. And it's really very easy. If you took a look at the website, it's really very easy to put in a submission. So we really want to have those submissions coming in. And the judges, of course, will go to work right away as soon as they start coming in and begin the selection process to see who will be able to make it to Curaçao.
And Martin, let me just pick up on that quickly and do a shameless plug. Since you are talking about the inspiration sessions and the different topics or thematic concerns that we are looking forward to say that if you feel that there's a subject or a topic that is of interest to you, feel free to send us an email. If you also have people you think are best placed to start a conversation on the inspiration session, we are open for that. This is a community, and so we are looking forward to learning, you know, from everyone. And so please, inboxes, I should say, are open. Yeah. Joeri.
Yes. Thank you for the comment, and I agree completely. I don't know if there are people who want to ask questions or maybe share some ideas? We still have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I like to
saying people can share some works.
Professor Lade Wosonu is also
that would be nice.
And Professor Lade Wosonu is also a prominent poet in Ghana, author of many collections of poetry. But a very interesting thing about Professor Lade Wosonu is that he is a world-renowned surgeon as well, retired now. And so for me in the sciences, for example, I take inspiration from him, having been able to show that you can mix medicine and writing. And it's great to have you in this call, Professor Wosonu, if you could share some of your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much indeed. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Loud and clear, Prof.
Thank you very much indeed. I've listened with rapt attention to the discussion so far, and I want to congratulate all of you for a wonderful job done. Professor Anyidoho, I heard your voice. Wale, His Excellency, I heard yours also. And our hosts, and I thank you very much for the chance to add my voice to this innovation, this collaboration. This is the era for collaboration. And we're going to collaborate not just virtually, but occasionally in person. And I'm also looking forward to tasting some of the good food on your island. But please come to Ghana also and enjoy what you have to offer you. You'll enjoy it. I look forward to this interaction on a monthly basis, God willing, and all the very best, all of us. Bye-bye for the moment. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Professor Lade Wosonu. And yes, we look forward to engaging you monthly on this platform. I think that we could take a question or two from the audience. I don't know, Bernard seemed to have a problem with his microphone. I don't know if he's still on the call. If he is and will still want to speak, probably we could
bring him in.
Yeah, make it possible.
I think,
and maybe if there are some people from Curaçao, I do recognize some names. So far, we haven't heard the Curaçaoan voices. Of course, Bernard, if you're ready, then please do share your ideas or your
yes.
with
But
us.
Santiago is there. Yuri.
Yes.
I think Santiago is from Curaçao, no?
I don't see him anymore in my list.
I see him. And
we have Magali,
yeah.
we have Sindika, we have Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy Winkler. Is she from your place also?
Yes, those are three people that I know personally. Sindika, Magali.
Excellent.
Magali is actually going to publish her first book during our festival. She will be one of the people on stage on September 23rd, presenting her debut novel. So that's also going to be very interesting.
Wow.
Last. Okay. We have one minute.
Yes.
Well,
let's give
final words.
Martin with final words to Prof first. And we can go to Dr. Okediran. Prof.
Yeah, if you have any words to conclude.
No, I think that let's be careful we don't keep emphasizing or overemphasizing the physical exchange that will involve only two people. The wonderful thing about the program is the chance that many more people will have to participate because of the digital options. So people should be encouraged to look forward not only to the visit this way or that way, but especially the options to have your work on the website and in digital space, other forms of exchange. And I think people should explore that as much as possible. the physical visit this way and that way is an excellent idea, and I'm happy that our partners on the other side have managed to put together resources for the initial takeoff. But many more people should be looking to taking advantage of being a part of it because of the digital space options. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you. Very wise words, and I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, so I think we invite everybody to join, and not just with submissions, but also with ideas on the project, on the website itself. For instance, I personally hadn't even thought about, visual submissions. And now that you brought it up, I don't remember the name of the person, but thank you very much for this. Stella, yes, because it will make our website more beautiful, more aesthetically pleasing. So that's great. And like I said, we have a really flexible team, I think, the ones that are curating, but also the ones who are designing and programming the website. So it's your space. And please join us on this adventure. And we will pretty soon announce the next inspiration session. Initially, we thought about 7 sessions in a year, but that has already become 1 a month. So there you see that how this platform is already evolving in just 1 hour. So we'll have 12 inspiration sessions. I think it's perfect. And we're looking forward to receiving all of your submissions. And like I said, we will publish the first batch early in August. So make sure if you want to be a part of the first publication batch to submit latest on July 31st.
Yeah, well, thank you. We were short by about 2 months. I'm sorry, by about 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
That would be really serious. But yeah, so I suppose we are now winding up. I don't know if Dr. Wale Okediran had a few words so that we can then close the webinar.
Well, just to also thank you again for this, and to look forward to getting as many people as possible on board, just like Professor Anyidoho said. And because we have a very virile mass of writers here in Ghana who are looking for opportunities. And it's like many of them are caged. And now that they have an opportunity to fly, we have to give it to them. And also to say that the visual submission, a virtual submission of our works was also a very nice way. So because now people are writing digital, and they're going digital in their writings, and people want to share this material, and it's easier to share material that are published digitally instead of having to shift things. I think these are some of the benefits of the COVID. I think Martin prepared a beautiful book on the post-COVID issues, and I think this is one of the benefits, in quotes, of the pandemic. We are all now becoming used to online activities, and I think it's something we should embrace. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
Dr. Wale.
Martin.
Yes, so well, I'll just say that I'm looking forward to the next inspiration session, and as Joeri said, we will announce ahead of time so that you can join and do spread the word about what is happening. Thank you.
Joeri, thank you very much. Thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. I'd like to just say that before we go, you should drop the link to Magali's book for one of the people in the comment, I think Mamiaba. And Mamiaba, the final question to answer you is that the sessions will be monthly. And we will definitely announce it so people can join as well. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Dr. Okediran. Thank you, Professor Anyidoho. Thank you, Martin, Nanayo, and everybody who attended this session. Great to meet you all. And in Papiamento, we say Bombini, which means welcome. Have a great evening, and we will be in touch. Bye-bye.